Injustice 3. Here's what Netherrealm should do for the inevitable sequel. So when it comes to Injustice, specifically Injustice 2, Injustice 2 is one of the best games that I have played this console generation. It's one of the best fighting games I've ever played, period, in all my years of gaming. Beneath Horizon Zero Dawn and Resident Evil 7, Injustice 2 is the third best game I've played all console generation. I actually became addicted to playing Injustice 2. I've played almost 200 hours of the game, and I got every character to level 20 before they released the Legendary Edition upgrade, which, raised the level cap 10 levels and added more gear pieces to the game. For this video, all the gameplay that's being shown is actually me playing the game through various fights and whatnot that I recently edited together over the course of a few weeks. All of this is me playing the game. So basically, I'm going to divide this video into 5 different sections. And the first section is really simple, and that is, what should Netherrealm keep? And the first thing is the gear system. And the gear system was something that was introduced in Injustice 2. Basically, every fight that you take part in Injustice 2, you unlock gear pieces, and you apply those gear pieces to the characters in the game. And I believe there's 5 different pieces of gear for each and every single character in the game. There's one for the chest/torso area, there's one for the head, one for the legs, one for the arms, and I think there's another one that I can't really think of off the top of my head right now. That's something that really added a bunch of replayability to the game. They should keep the gear system, because the gear system was the progression system in the game. That's something that added stats and whatnot to the different characters and whatnot, and provided that level of customization that you just don't see in fighting games. And I would like to see that be brought back and be improved. I want to see Netherrealm add to it. That's something that was one of the best parts about Injustice 2. One of the reasons why that game was so had such a high level of replayability. The unlocked abilities is another thing that they should bring back. There are different abilities that you can unlock for each and every single character in the game through the multiverse mode. I do think they should alter that a little bit so it's not as expensive, because in Injustice 2, to unlock an ability, you have to first fight a boss, which is set at a very high level in terms of the difficulty. And then in order to fight the boss, you have to spend 150,000 credits. But yeah, definitely bring back the unlocked abilities. That provides an extra level of customization. So let's say I'm playing as Black Canary. I go online or whatever, or I have a friend over and they also want to play as Black Canary. Well, my Black Canary may be completely different from their Black Canary. I have certain gear pieces to my character while they have a different set of gear pieces for theirs. I have a specific ability or two that's set for Black Canary, my Black Canary, while theirs may not have any abilities at all, or they may have different abilities from mine. And so, their Black Canary is unique and mine is unique, and we're not playing the exact same character. And that's something that also helps distinguish the different characters from each other, is the unlocked abilities. Another thing they should bring back is the multiverse mode. And the multiverse mode was essentially a tower-based mode that had a bunch of different game variants in it. It also had the game's survival mode and the arcade battle built into it, and that was a very good idea. And that's something that they should definitely bring back and once again flesh out more. I think they should definitely bring back that game type. The AI battle simulator, the tournament, and the learn mode for the practice mode, which they added as DLC, or not as DLC, but as an update to the Legendary Edition of the game. All of that should also come back for Injustice 3. So that's the first part. The second part is, what should Netherrealm scrap? I have a few different ideas of things that they should get rid of that didn't necessarily work in Injustice 2. For one, the Legendary Multiverse. The Legendary Multiverse was awful. It was way too expensive and unreasonable to unlock access to the different legendary multiverse challenges that they had in that mode. And if you wanted to complete the game to 100%, it would never happen. That's how poorly designed the legendary multiverse mode was. And because they already had the normal multiverse mode, they didn't need the legendary multiverse mode. It was just something random that they added to the game that no one really wanted to play because of how ridiculous it actually turned out to be. That's something they should definitely scrap and get rid of. The credit system. Now, I don't personally mind if they bring back the credit system, but I think the game would be better without it. It really doesn't need it. The credit system was nothing but in-game currency to fight, different enemies in the game and to gain access to certain multiverse challenges. Beyond that, the credit system didn't really have a purpose for being in the game. Like I said, I think the game would do better without it. The source crystals. Like I said, those were essentially this game's version of microtransactions, and microtransactions in a AAA single-player game such as Injustice, even if it does have a multiplayer mode, it really doesn't need it. It's never a good thing when the game developers try and squeeze a bit of extra cash from their customers, and so that's something they should get rid of. And also, certain characters, I think, should obviously be scrapped. I wouldn't mind if they got rid of Captain Cold, even though I'm pretty good with him. I think that his moveset could have been more profound, and I can say that about other certain characters as well, such as Superman, and especially Swamp Thing, who is just the worst character that they added. And so certain characters I think they should definitely get rid of if they're going to, replace them with someone new. So that's the second part. The third part is, what should Netherrealm alter? Certain characters I think definitely should be tweaked a bit. Once again, I just mentioned Superman. I think they should add a few more moves to his arsenal. Same thing with Wonder Woman. Deadshot needs to be nerfed if they're going to bring him back, so his long-range attacks can't be spammed, which was a big problem with that character online, from what I heard and from what I've read online. The boss encounters, some of the bosses are just ridiculous in this game, ridiculously overpowered and poorly designed to the point where the AI is literally reacting to every single thing you do on the controller, and that's not good game design, and so they should nerf that. The multiverse, I already spoke about that. The mother boxes, similar to the credit system, I don't mind if they bring that back, but I think they should only bring back the mother boxes that actually, provided something to the player. So like the bronze and the silver mother boxes, those don't do anything. And the gear that they unlock for you is weak. Past a certain point in the game, once you make a certain level of progress, the bronze and the silver are just pointless. So the mother boxes are something that can be tweaked, not necessarily scrapped altogether. The Endless Simulator and the Survivor Simulator in the multiverse mode I think could also be altered. It's ridiculous because I just bought Tekken 7 and I was playing Treasure Battle, and I played around 58 matches of that undefeated. I can't really do that with the Endless Simulator or the Survivor Simulator for Injustice 2 because of how ridiculous the AI is designed past a certain number of wins, which is usually around, the highest I've gotten is 32 wins, and I did that with Batman, who is arguably the best character in the game. Him and Supergirl. Yeah, I think they should definitely tweak the difficulty of the AI for those particular gameplay variants in the multiverse mode. What features should be added? This is me going into the fourth part of the video. Basically, it's simple. Tag team. Netherrealm hasn't developed a tag team mode for any of their games since Mortal Kombat 9, which was MK 2011. Yeah, they need to bring back the tag team, the team battle, that kind of gameplay feature I think would really be useful. They kind of had a preview of that because in the multiverse mode for Injustice 2, there were certain gameplay variants where you got to call upon, an AI partner to come and help you out during the battle, and it would be great if they just made that a mainstay for the game. Yeah, that's something I would like to see added. Photo mode would be very much appreciated. All the major games are doing a photo mode now. I would like to see that be added for the next game. And then like a team ultimate attacks where you have characters that have their normal super moves and whatnot, but then you have team super moves where you have two characters who are, perform a super move. If I had to compare this idea to anything, I would compare it to Naruto Storm 4, the Naruto Storm games. The game developers put in attacks in the game where, you have more than one character performing an ultimate attack. And I would like to see that be replicated for Injustice 3. Let's say, like with Supergirl, you knock your opponent up into space with Supergirl. She flies into space. She uses her heat vision. And then Superman, let's say he's on your team. He comes around. He flies around her to the other side of your opponent. He blasts them with his heat vision. And so you just have these dual beams firing at your opponent from both directions. And that's something that I would like to see be implemented for Injustice 3. And the fifth and final part of this video is, what should the character roster be? I have 17 new characters that I would like to see added for Injustice 3. Some of these may make it into the game, some of them may not. And so I'm just going to go down a list. The first is John Constantine, and it would be great to have a character like him because he's a magic user. The Huntress, Batwoman, Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, which would be an interesting one because he's a character that originated from the Batman Beyond television show. I would like to see him be added to the game. Beast Boy, who is the only Teen Titans member aside from Terra who hasn't been in any of the Injustice games, although Starfire mentioned Beast Boy in Injustice 2. Etrigan, Terra, which is another Teen Titans character, Larfleeze, Saint Walker, both of those are Lantern users. Clayface, Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, those are Batman characters. Parasite, Killer Croc, Red Tornado, Metallo, Giganta, who could be like, I guess, the opposite version of the Atom. I guess she would be the answer to the Atom in the game because they did the Atom pretty well in the game. Giganta would be the opposite because she can grow big. She can increase her size, not shrink down the size. And then some special guest characters with past DC Comics, interactions from the comic books. They added in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Injustice 2. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a lot of people don't know, actually had comic book crossovers with characters like Batman in the comics. Another set of characters that have had crossovers with DC characters in the comics are the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers had a few issues doing crossovers with the Justice League. And so I would like to see something like that be added. I think a lot of people would be interested to see characters like that be added into the game because it would be something that's completely unexpected. That would fit with what they did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Injustice 2. If they want to pull a Mortal Kombat Armageddon, then they can just bring back all the major characters that they had from both Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 and then add in the new characters on top of them. Then you have this large-ass roster, similar to a Tekken Tag Tournament style game. And as far as the returning characters go, you have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Blue Beetle, Firestorm, Dr. Fate, Black Canary, Atom, Cyborg, Robin, Starfire, Raven, Red Hood, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Deadshot, Cheetah, Bane, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, Joker, Harley Quinn, Enchantress, Black Manta, Darkseid, Black Adam, Atrocitus, Lex Luthor, Hawkgirl, Lobo, Batgirl, Martian Manhunter, Nightwing, Sinestro, Solomon Grundy, Doomsday, Shazam, and Zatanna. I may have missed one or two characters, but that's pretty much all the major characters that appeared as playable characters from both Injustice 1 and Injustice 2. If they want to go that route, they can. And so, yeah, that's basically my ideas for Injustice 3. I'd imagine that the game's going to come out within the next 3 to 4 years. So these are just some ideas as to what Netherrealm could and should probably do for the sequel.